Good evening, viewers and listeners, and welcome to this another edition of Serving the People, which is brought to you every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. on SVG TV. I am your host, Mrs. Anesia Baptiste, founder and president of the Democratic Republican Party, the DRP. Please let us start with a word of prayer. Loving Father in heaven, do help me to show the people the truth concerning the importance of women in our society and help them to understand everything that is explained here as we work together to make our society a better place. In Jesus' name, amen. And now, dear viewers, in this evening's program, we want to talk about International Women's Day. But before we get going, let me remind you that if you wish to contact us at Serving the People, you may call telephone number 528-1015. And in particular for this program, I want you to call our secretary at 528-4169. That's 528-4169. The information will be repeated for your assistance. Talking about International Women's Day. While you're looking at this program, it's the 6th of March, and the 8th of March, Friday 8th of March, this year, 2013, is celebrated as International Women's Day, all around the world. It is a day that the United Nations declared such over 100 years ago. A day when the critical role of women around the world in nation building is celebrated, and the various causes of women and issues affecting and confronting women around the world are discussed. And different agencies and organizations throughout the world take the time to highlight these issues. Issues from domestic and other sexual violence and abuse against women, issues of rape and human trafficking, issues of unemployment and underemployment, poverty, education, gender equality, and all these issues which have impact upon the lives of women globally. These are some of the things that will be discussed and highlighted on this International Women's Day holiday in some countries and day around the world. As you look at this program, I wish to highlight the work of one of the agencies which do a lot concerning women around the world. And in particular, this agency has a special emphasis on encouraging women in political office, or encouraging women to get more and more involved in politics. And I speak of the Women's Democracy Network, WDN. Yes, the Women's Democracy Network, of which I became a member almost a year ago, is an initiative of the International Republican Institute in Washington, D.C., the IRI. And their purpose is to increase women's political participation, leadership, and representation in elected office. In other words, the WDN, through the IRI, is involved in encouraging women around the world to become more and more involved in political participation through seeking political offices in their respective countries. They do work such as linking women in politics with each other, linking women together from different parts of the world. They provide mentorship, and they also provide training and development opportunities for such women in their political careers. Today, they exist in 61 countries around the world, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where they have one member so far, that is myself, Anesia Baptiste of the DRP. And this year, they are hosting once again their annual International Women's Day Conference in Washington, D.C. Annually, the Women's Democracy Network, the WDN, invite 10 of their most active members to Washington to participate in training in political work, and also to meet with government officials within the United States of America's Congress, and to link with women leaders in the United States of America. And this year is no exception. As a matter of fact, you will see across your screen now some photographs of 2012's International Women's Day conference that the WDN held, and you will see photographs of women who attended this conference, 10 women from 10 countries around the world where the WDN has membership, and they also are seen in photographs in interaction with US government officials, and also attending and participating in what the WDN calls their Jean J. Kirkpatrick Award Ceremony. Yes, this award ceremony highlights the giving of 2 awards to 2 women who have made outstanding contributions to the advancement of women in politics and civil society around the world. And it is named after Dr. Kirkpatrick, who we are told was the first woman to serve as the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, and who also was a strong advocate for women's participation in politics and for the very establishment of the Women's Democracy Network, whose motto is empowering women to lead. So at this conference, these women participate in this award ceremony, and they also, as I said, are exposed to political training and interaction with other women leaders in the United States. I have the privilege of attending this conference this year. I was chosen by the WDN to be a part of their 10 women delegation to Washington this year, and as I speak to you, I'm actually in Washington attending this conference, and I hope to bring information away from it to share with you, the public of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I invite you now to take a look at this video of one Jingare Maiga of Mali, as she in an interview talks about the work of the WDN and how they helped her as a woman in politics in the country of Mali. Take a look.
Jingare Maiga of Mali dedicates herself to increasing women's political participation throughout West Africa. In 2000, Jingare founded Femmes et Droits Humains, an organization created to promote the socio-economic, civil, and political rights of women. In 2008, the Women's Democracy Network supported Jingare with a grant to build the capacity of women. As a result, more than 100 women stood as candidates, and for the first time in the commune's history, a woman was elected to a position on the mayor's council. In 2010, Jingare launched an initiative to take Femmes et Droits Humains' successes to a regional level by building a West African network to promote democratic development. Jingare continues to oversee this flourishing organization as it seeks to bring empowerment to the women of Africa.
What does your participation in Women's Democracy Network enable you to bring back to your home country? How have you benefited from participation in the Women's Democracy Network?
Thank you, and I would like to thank WDN for bringing me in this conference and celebrating, Women's Day with other women all around the world and around a table on which we were discussing women's political participation. So I'm very pleased to be here. From the first question, I can say that what I benefit is all those information related to women's participation that show me that women's participation is actually problematic everywhere. No wonder where we are. And it also showed me that where we are today, women's participation in politics, from all the presentation, we can see that it's decreasing. It's decreasing. So this can, this must, show us that there are obstacles that we should analyze and be able to act on so that we can increase actually women's participation. Also, one thing I have benefit from this participation is the sharing of strategies from all over, all those women, those wonderful women, where they come from, all those strategies that they have been using to increase women's participation, some that I can, implement in my country, and some that I can share with other networks on how they can, implement women's participation programs in their country. So.
To date, what has been your most memorable experience in working with the WDN?
My most memorable experience in working with WDN is that WDN is the one who really give me the opportunity, to design a program that I really think can improve women's participation and give me funding, to implement such a program in my country. So I can say that, yes, the program, it was in a urban domain, but WDN is very well known, IRI is very well known in this locality because all the components of the population were present in this, in this program. From the mayor to the village chief to the chief of hunters, the traditionalists, and everyone was involved in this program. So it has been 1 year program, but till now the program is like continuing because women always come back asking, why are you calling us? When will we meet again? What should we do so that we can continue this program, because it was really a fantastic program. And actually we are trying to create an internet connection center and use the new media for those women. Sometimes they are not literate, but we are trying to have them with language classes and then train them on the use of internet, because we wanted to have a monitoring program. And in this monitoring program, we found that Facebook or YouTube could be really good program for those women, to know with whom they are actually being monitoring, who is monitoring them, and with whom they are sharing their experiences, and how they can, how they can improve the language and the use of internet, and then their participation in politics. Yeah.
How do you plan to involve more women in Women's Democracy Network activities in Mali?
Thank you for this question. Actually, I've seen that there are chapters in some countries, but what I really want for WDN, because as I can say you that now there are less and less funding opportunities for human rights program and democracy programs around Africa, which I really know. So I would like to have, to create a chapter in the West Africa, not only in my country, but a West African chapter of WDN, in which we will have parliamentarian, civil society organization, private, and everyone that's really, found that women participation is something that can, push women's rights and also reinforce democracy in Africa and everywhere. So I really want to look for opportunities on how we can initiate such a network in West Africa. I'm already in touch with some organizations, with some politicians and parliamentarians from outside my country, with whom I have already started discussing which woman or who and what and how we can gather together and then have a network. But I know now that it should actually be the WDN network for the West Africa.
Yes, my dear viewers, you would have seen and heard from Jingare and her experiences, and I too would like to join with her in thanking the WDN for giving women like myself who are bold and courageous enough to explore a career in politics, for giving us opportunities to be trained and to learn from other women around the world of their experiences, and to be encouraged as we pursue this very noble path, and to thank the WDN for helping us along the way, because we need each other. And next, I would like you to look at 2 short videos of just some of the ways in which organizations around the world celebrate International Women's Day. The first one is called Women's Day Live, and it was from 2012. Just an example of some of the things that are raised and talked about when we celebrate International Women's Day. And the second one is from the work of Crossroads International, who are using the opportunity of International Women's Day to show the work that they're doing to help little girls in the Kingdom of Swaziland.
women are gathering in every village and city around the world to celebrate more than 100 years of progress on International Women's Day. Join us for Women's Day Live.
Women's Day Live! Empower women, change the world!
Join us at this pivotal moment in history to celebrate the transformative power of women in global society and seize the clear opportunity to make poverty history by empowering women and girls in the world today. Be part of history in the making. Empower women, change the world.
Hi, I'm Helene Gale, President and CEO of CARE. As one of the world's leading poverty-fighting organizations, CARE is on the front lines every day. And by seeing poverty up close, one thing is clear. More often than not, the face of poverty is a woman. Did you know that of the 1.4 billion people living on just over $1 a day, 70% are women and girls? Women do 2/3 of the world's work, but earn only 10% of the income. Women produce half of the world's food, but own only 1% of its land. And of the almost 900 million adults worldwide who can't read or write, 2/3 are women. Simply put, women and girls are the poorest, most excluded group on the face of the earth. That's why promoting gender equality, goal number 3 of the UN Millennium Development Goals, is so important. In fact, cutting poverty in half by 2015 depends on it.
I am powerful.
I am powerful.
I am powerful.
It's a source of power the world can no longer afford to overlook.
Unleashing women and having women express themselves to who they really are is key to all issues that face humanity now. What will have the feminine energy included in all the great halls of power of the world today, in all cultures, will be to tell the truth about the great priorities that face us in the 21st century.
This money, I began growing tomatoes.
I got a bull to raise and sell, and a bicycle to help us get to market.
I can write. I can count money. I've been liberated.
There is no more scarcity. We have what we need. We are very proud, and we are very free.
Every woman had made something happen. I realized we can be unstoppable. I was so proud. A proud leader of my panchayat. Generations of women have been mistreated. I make a vow today to not have that happen anymore. No more. Not with my daughters. This will not happen in my family, in my village, in my country. It stops here. It stops now.
My dear friend, the Dalai Lama, and I agree that the world will be saved by women. As British poet Matthew Arnold said, if ever the world sees a time when women shall come together purely and simply for the benefit of humanity, it will be a power such as the world has never known. That time is now.
We are those women.
For the first time in history, millions of women joined the World March of Women in 161 countries around the world. This historic global gathering of women marched against poverty and the widespread violence towards women. Now, every March 8th, on International Women's Day, the women gather worldwide. Each year, their voices grow stronger as they present an urgent call for world peace, justice, and freedom, creating a new vision of hope for humanity.
We're here today to join with the sisters throughout the world and let our government know it is immoral in this country for people to have been hungry.
So here we are, we march together, women walking side by side, things are changing ways forever.
The more women mobilize around their issues, nothing could stop us because of the power of our numbers. We're worth equality. I do think if each of us stands up and calls on our courage, the world really will change for women.
The time to empower women and girls is now. Join us for Women's Day Live. Women are gathering in every village and city around the world to celebrate, donate. The future is in your hands. Make this humanity's finest hour.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Don't stop believing.
Yes, my dear viewers, I know that right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have our own concerns where our women folk is concerned. Issues of unemployment and underemployment, issues of education, issues of poverty, which we have shown you some of that right here on Serving the People. And I empathize with us. But as a woman in politics, I want you to know that I am here to serve you as women also, to serve everybody, but also to look at the sensitive issues that affect women. I understand the kind of issues that we face as women in our country, the kind of concerns we have, and I will be putting forward to you policies to improve our situation and to strengthen us as women in our country as we contribute equally to society and to nation building as our men folk and every other person. So please, continue to look at this program, continue to support me as a young woman in politics in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the first young woman to launch her own political party, and together I know we can do great things for the situation of women throughout our blessed nation. And now, dear viewers, as we We come to the end of our program. I wish to remind you of 2 cases of our women folk here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which we at this program have brought to you. I speak of the case of one Rosalie Roberts of Trumaka in North Leeward. Rosalie was a victim of domestic violence who lost her home to fire when the perpetrator of the violence against her set it on fire, that is her house, and proceeded to take his own life. Rosalie's house has been in a burnt-out condition for over a year. This incident took place in October 2011, and she has not received any assistance sufficient to be able to begin repairing her home. We showed you the Rosalie Roberts story, and we appealed to you to give assistance where you can. It is very important that we look out for one another. Rosalie could be your mother, your sister, your aunt, your cousin, your niece. It could be you. And I'm asking you kindly that if you wish to contribute to Rosalie's cause, please deposit your monies in our account at the Nova Scotia Bank, or Scotia Bank as you know it. The account number is 506-9922. That's 506-9922, and the information is on your screen. Or you may call telephone number 528-4169. That's 528-4169, and the secretary there will take your information. Also, we spoke to you about the case of one Agnes Pear of Darview, Rosebank, North Leeward. Agnes, we showed you her situation. She's an elderly woman citizen in her 50s who suffers from a bad condition of diabetes and unfortunately has been living in very difficult circumstances. No human being should have to live in the conditions that Agnes lives in. Furthermore, because of her poverty, she's not able to provide for herself the relevant meals that she needs in order to take her insulin medication. We showed you these things. Agnes told her story, and we appealed to you to give assistance. I want to thank those of you who have come forward so far with assistance, and to let you know that if you want to contribute to Agnes, you may call that same number, 528-4169. That's 528-4169. Until our next program, may God richly bless all of you, and may we work together hand in hand, not only to improve the situation of our women, but also of all our people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Happy International Women's Day in advance, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you, and bye-bye.